In the headlines, Prime Minister Abiy urges activating roles of innovators to demonstrate skills for development. And historians urge ensuring vibrant economy and innovation to voice African agendas. Hello and welcome to this news hour. I'm Daniel Kasahun with the news. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed said skills competition will play a significant role for innovators to demonstrate their skills and capabilities. Minister of Labour and Skill Mufareh Kamil also remarked that skill and technology helps to transform the country's economy. The third edition of National Skill Competition has been launched in Addis Ababa today. Koshmal So has more.
The third round of National Skill Competition organized by the Ministry of Skill and Labour launched Monday in Addis Ababa aimed at creating innovative citizens and market linkage for innovators. Speaking on the occasion, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed said competitions will play a significant role for innovators to demonstrate their skills and capabilities.
Skill competitions will play an integral role to corroborate the talent and competence of young people and create market linkages. Skill, technology, and research are important to enrich Ethiopia. Ethiopia has the potential of all resources, but these resources should be well integrated with technology and skill. Our enormous potential should be linked and produced with required level.
The Premier also urged innovative professionals to focus on result-oriented work, beating the challenges they face.
Being solutions-oriented is essential to transform Ethiopia. A nationwide skills competition has begun today, where young people with different skills and abilities are presenting their creative works. Let's be strong, let's innovate, let's focus on solutions to overcome challenges. Ethiopia has no shortages of inputs. Therefore, innovators need to use challenges as a springboard for their effective works.
Minister of Skill and Labour Mufareh Kamil for her part remarked that skill and technology have a irreplaceable role to transform the country's economy.
Technology, skills and research is vital to transform the country's economy. Such initiatives serve as springboard to demonstrate the potential of the innovative youths as well as realize the country's prosperity journey. Skill and labor competition stimulates the sector by providing problem-solving technology. The initiative also helps to transform technical and vocational training colleges one step ahead in technology transfer.
በሌላ መንገድ በቀጣይነት የኢኮኖሚውን ተወዳዳሪነት የሚያረጋግጥ አዲስ ምዕራፍ ነው።
The competition organized by the Ministry of Labour and Skills stay active for the coming 5 days.
In another news, the Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Demeke Mekonnen met with Minister of International Development of Canada, Gurjit Singh Sajan, his office earlier this morning, and among others, the two sides discussed ways of further enhancing development cooperation between Ethiopia and Canada against the backdrop of strong, long-standing ties. Foreign Minister Demeke told the Canadian Foreign Minister that the government of Ethiopia is striving towards effecting development both at home and in the Horn of Africa by fostering investment and trade policies as well as foreign strategic partnerships conducive to regional economic integration. Demeke said international partners like Canada need to support Ethiopia's development efforts and the ongoing peace consolidation efforts, as peace is the backbone of any development initiative. Sajan, for his part, noted the long-standing Ethio-Canadian development cooperation and vowed to continue the tradition. He expressed the Canadian government's keenness to support initiatives aimed at increasing agricultural productivity on top of improving food security. The Ethiopian National Dialogue Commission disclosed it is tirelessly working to discharge its historic responsibility. The Commission called on every segment of the society to actively take part in the selection process of participants for the 4 regions and 1 city administration this week. Talking to ETV, the Deputy Commissioner of the National Dialogue, Hirut Gebreselassie, indicated that the Commission is vigorously working to discharge its social responsibility. It's to be recalled that the first Russia-Africa Summit took place on 23rd to 24 October 2019 in Sochi under the motto of "For Peace, Security and Development." This was the first time such a large-scale event had been held in the history of modern Russia and was unprecedented in Russia-Africa relations. Now preparations are well underway to host the next summit, to be held in St. Petersburg on 26 up to 29 July 2023, and the Africa Day was organized at the permanent mission of Russia to the European Union. A journalist and consultant, mainly a media consultant, Lidet Muleta, has been visiting Russia in the past 9 days. And what is her reflection, and what has she learned, and some more issues will be heard from her. She is an Ethiopian media consultant who visited the Russian Federation in the past 9 days. And welcome to Ethiopia, and welcome to the studio.
Thank you so much, Daniel. Thank you for having me.
You visited the Russian Federation for a number of days, and what's your take from that visit?
It was my first time visiting Russia. It was a very wonderful trip. It was organized by the Russian state grain operators, and it was organized for many experts and journalists. And I was very honored to be part of it. At the same time, I was also happy to see how it was not what I expected. I didn't hear much about Russia, having grown up in the West, and I realized that Russia is very big. I got to see many parts of Russia. It was a wonderful journey, I must say, and also the treatment that they provided me was exceptional, along with my colleagues that were part of the tour. While we were there, we visited several territories. We met with officials who are looking forward to the Russia-Africa Summit, like you mentioned, and at the same time to continue the diplomatic relations that Russia has with African countries. Overall, my experience was wonderful.
How was your expectation?
I mean, the fact that Russia is currently under sanctions, under a special military operation. I also did get to experience parts of the countryside, rural areas, where people are living under pressure, under tense situations because of the conflict. I met with some farmers who are having issues of exporting their grains. They have a lot of grains stored that could be exported. We did also note that there were countries that were taking part in purchasing grains, such as countries like India and Egypt and so forth, that are still continuing to have their relationship. But they are looking to continue to do business with Africa and other countries as well. but it was humbling to see farmers who are looking to export their grains and to make sure that their harvest does not go bad. And then I also got to see how close Russian and Ukrainians are. They're literally, from brothers and sisters from one family. They've lived closely all their lives, and I realized that no one is closer to Ukrainians than Russians, and it's heartbreaking to see them having conflict. But I think it's Africa in general has a great role in playing in helping negotiate, helping bring peace into that region. And if there is any part that we should play it.
Have you made any perception change in the relationship between Russia Ethiopia and Russia Africa relationship?
The probably change that I see is that we need to be more active on the Ethiopian side. I believe that I think during the past issues that we've had, Ethiopia has had, Russia has been very outspoken and very supportive of Ethiopia's integrity and giving us or voting for us to solve our own problems, African problems for African solutions. And I think as Ethiopians and as Africans, we should also provide that support to Russia when it needs it. I think they do need that support from the world at this time. Being under sanctions and being in the condition they are in, they do need that support that we once needed just recently.
Mm-hmm. The second Russia-Africa summit is going to be held in July, towards the end of July, and what do you expect from that session?
I think the two things are, on my mind. One is the economic relationship, which I think, another thing on my end was that although I found Russia to be a very big and powerful country in the world, I also realized that Ethiopia is also becoming that in the world with all the developments that we've had in the last 4 years or so. Even though we've had so much struggle, there's a lot of developments as well. And so there's a mutual interest of economy exchange that can happen between Ethiopia and Russia and Africa and Russia. So I think the economic front is going to be a big discussion, but I also think that the peace is going to be another discussion and another factor. And I think it's it's going to be a chance for Africa to play a bigger role in helping one big powerful country have settled and negotiate with peace. So I hope that both peace and economic development will be on discussion.
Thank you very much, Lesmuleta, Ethiopian media consultant. Thank you for your reflections about your visit to the Russian Federation.
Thank you for having me, Daniel.
Thank you.
Welcome to the land of origins. Commercial Bank of Ethiopia is pleased to serve all your travel or banking needs. If you have money from any of these 16 countries, you can convert it to local currency by visiting our nearest branch. Alternatively, our secure Forex ATMs accept cash exchange, or if you prefer using your cards, we've partnered with Visa, MasterCard, and UnionPay so that you can withdraw cash from our local ATMs or make cashless transactions at thousands of local POS partners securely and with confidence. We are linked with more than 700 global banks through our direct SWIFT address, CBE Teta. We also work with 16 international money transfer agents, out of which Tune and World Remit enable you to make direct deposits into our savings and current accounts or our popular CBE Burr mobile wallet. Commercial Bank of Ethiopia, the bank you can always rely on.
ጎሽ ቁጥር እንደ ትላንትና አይቻለቅ ይሄው ምን ነው ያሳያ ያለው የማገገም የዱር እንስሳቱ መጀመሪያ ከነበሩበት ከተበታተኑበት ቦታ ስብስባቸው ምን ያህል እንደሆነ የሚያሳይ ነው ሁለተኛ ደግሞ ቦታዎቹ አጠቃላይ ተሽከርካሪ ሲተራመስ የነበረበት ቦታዎቹ በሙሉ ያገገሙበት መልሶ ያገገመበት ሳር ያኔ እንደዚህ አረንጓዴ የማናየው ሳር ሙሉ በሙሉ አረንጓዴ የሆነበት ቃጠሎም ጀምረናል ቃጠሎም እናካሄደባቸው ሜዳማ ፓርቶችን ደግሞ ስናይ በጣም ግሪን ሆኖ ስናይ በቃ ከፍተኛ ተስፋ እንዳለን ነው የሚያሳየው
ጎሽ በጣም ብዛት አለ ከዚህ በፊት በጣም ብዛት ነበረ የተለያዩ ማሽኖች ድምጽ አለ መኪና ድምጽ አለ ለዛ ነው ትንሽ እንኳን ቀንሶ ወደ ሌላ ቦታ እንዲሄድ ግማሽ ወደ ሱዳን ወጥቶ እንዲሄድ ያደረገ ያለ በጣም ብዙ ነበር ወመብራ ፈርክ ያለው ቁጥር ስፍር የለም ነበር
Welcome back. You are watching the live transmission of this news hour from the African capital, Addis Ababa. In the last 9 months of this Ethiopian fiscal year, a transaction of more than 1.2 trillion birr has been carried out through digital payment system across the country. This is according to the Ministry of Planning and Development, Fitsum Asafa. While presenting the government's 9 months performance report over the 2015 fiscal year, two state ministers, members of the House of People's Representatives and heads of various institutions mentioned that the government is focusing on digital finance to build an inclusive economy. Work is being done with policy and procedures, she said, adding that the number of mobile money transfer technology users has reached more than 60 million. Accordingly, she pointed out that more than 1.2 trillion birr has been transferred through digital payments in 9 months. The minister stated that this is a 169% increase compared to the 454.31 billion digital money transferred in the same period of the previous fiscal year. Ethio Telecom CEO Freot Tamro said that implementing the strategy of digital Ethiopia is being carried out with due attention. The CEO stated that to ensure digital economy and financial inclusion in the future, there should be a consistent, integrated and properly controlled digital implementation. The Ethiopian Airlines has launched a direct passenger flight service to Copenhagen, Denmark on Sunday. The new flight will be operated 5 times a week except on Tuesdays and Sundays. The direct route is estimated to create new business opportunities between the two countries. Kasarne has the following account.
Launching Ethiopian Airlines to Copenhagen, Denmark direct passenger flight service Sunday evening, Ethiopian Airlines Group CEO Mesfin Tasau said the airline has been increasing its international destinations as part of its growth strategic plan. The newly inaugurated flight to Copenhagen will play a crucial role to connect Ethiopia with Denmark and African countries, Mesfin added. He went on saying that this new flight route will strengthen the airline's capacity in extending its destination across nations.
ወደ ዴንማርክ የምንበረው አዲስ
Our newly inaugurated route to Copenhagen, Denmark will help extend its destination across nations. So the launch flight will also help boost the company's strengths in rendering excellence at all levels.
The CEO further noted that the launching of this direct flight route will become a crucial gateway for the airline in Northern Europe and Southern Scandinavia.
መላው አፍሪካ አዲስ አበባን እንደ መተላለፊያ ተጠቅመው
This flight route will help entire Africans to transit through Addis Ababa for a direct flight to Copenhagen. And Copenhagen is strategically located in the very southern Scandinavian, which we don't have any route from the particular area, so this will help a great deal.
Counselor in Denmark Embassy in Ethiopia, Siv Berendate, said the flight will help in elevating the economic and diplomatic cooperation between not only Ethiopia and Denmark, but to entire Africa to a higher level.
And also allow me to extend the congratulations to all Ethiopians and all Danes and to our cities of Addis Ababa and Copenhagen, as this direct route will bring us even closer. I look forward to use the route already in 10 days as I go home to Denmark to attend my friend's visit, my friend's wedding in Copenhagen, and again in July as I go for my annual leave. And I hope that many Ethiopians will be joining me on the flight. I also hope and I trust that many more Danes will now travel to Ethiopia to visit your magnificent historical and natural sites, including the churches of Lalibela and the peaks of Simei Mountains, and to see your beautiful wildlife of amazing and endemic species.
Ethiopian first served in Copenhagen in November 1999, but the flight has been suspended about 4 years later. Ethiopian commands the lion's share of the Pan-African passenger and cargo network, operating the youngest and modern fleet of more than 144 domestic and international passenger and cargo destinations across 5 continents. In addition to its hub in Addis Ababa, it's also pursuing its multi-hub strategy through a hub in Lome, Togo with Askai, in Lilongwe, Malawi with Malawi Airlines, and in Lusaka, Zambia with Zambia Airways.
In other news, the Minister of Finance, Ahmed Shide, is in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt, for taking part in the 2023 annual meetings of the Boards of Governors of the African Development Bank Group. The annual meeting of the African Development Bank Group will take place from May 22nd to 26th of 2023 under the theme Mobilizing Private Sector Financing for Climate and Green Growth in Africa. And the meeting is anticipated to discuss the challenges and opportunities for enhancing private sector investments in climate action and sustainable development on the continent. Accordingly, the Ethiopian Finance Minister Ahmed Shide began his participation by attending the Eastern Africa Constituency Governors meeting on Sunday in Sharm el-Sheikh.
Welcome to the land of origins. Commercial Bank of Ethiopia is pleased to serve all your traveler banking needs. If you have money from any of these 16 countries, you can convert it to local currency by visiting our nearest branch. Alternatively, our secure Forex ATMs accept cash exchange, or if you prefer using your cards, we've partnered with Visa, MasterCard, and UnionPay so that you can withdraw cash from our local ATMs or make cashless transactions at thousands of local POS partners securely and with confidence. We are linked with more than 700 global banks through our direct SWIFT address, CBE Teta. We also work with 16 international money transfer agents, out of which Tune and World Remit enable you to make direct deposits into our savings and current accounts or our popular CBE Burr mobile wallet. Commercial Bank of Ethiopia, the bank you can always rely on.
welcome to Inspire for Travel. My name is Wemba Imani and I'm here in the beautiful city of Dodoma. I'm super excited to be here. Dodoma is the capital city, the national capital of Tanzania. This here, guys, is the actual statue here in Dodoma of Julius Nyerere. He was the founding father, known as the founding father of Tanzania. Located in the center of the country of Tanzania, the city is around 453 kilometers west of the former capital of Dar es Salaam and around 441 kilometers south of Arusha, the headquarters of the East African Community. Here you will find a lot of banks, like to my left, that's the NMB bank there. You also have a commercial bank right on the side there.
Welcome back. You're still with this news hour. The first ever African Expo has kicked off today in Addis Ababa at the Ethiopian Museum of Art and Science in honor of the celebration of the 60th anniversary of the African Union. The Expo is being held under the theme Enabling Development from May 22, 27, 2023 with the objective to improving trade and investment relations between African countries so as to help realize economic growth and development and transformation of the continent. Kasan Chane reports.
In Addis Ababa, the One Africa Expo 2023 has begun in commemoration of the African Union's 16th anniversary. The inaugural session of Expo was attended by dignitaries from many nations, including Ambassador Abdi Yassin, Public Diplomacy Director General at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and State Minister for Trade and Regional Integration, Kasan Gofe. The first of its kind B2B, B2C and B2G trade fair, the Expo was designed exclusively for African governments, the private and public business sectors, international businesses and business experts to present their goods, services and knowledge. One African Expo CEO, Yalo Getachew, stated that the event will help African goods and services into the international market, creating new business prospects throughout the continent. Ethiopia has committed itself to advancing trade and economic integration across the continent. State Minister of Trade and Regional Integration, Kasan Gofe, reaffirmed at the Expo's inauguration. The State Minister asserts that the One Africa Expo will be essential to advancing Agenda 2063 success and promoting regional integration. Osman Babikir, Director of Economic Development and Cooperation at the GATT Secretariat, further urged all stakeholders on our continent to support such an endeavor in order to enable a transformed region.
The One Africa Expo 2023, under the theme Enabling Development, aims to articulate the African agenda by introducing investment and the trade opportunities as part of the commemoration of the 16th anniversary of Organization for African Unity, OAU-AU. Ethiopia is indeed honored to host such a Pan-African event, and will remain committed to implement African Union's agenda aimed at ensuring rapid prosperity.
Economic cooperation and regional integration is one of our key strategic focus in this intergovernmental organization. And we are serving our region to realize or to contribute to realization of this noble objective.
One Africa Expo 2023 has a very special opportunity to boost economies for the region. The AU is a beacon of the continent, according to Prince Kalamorg Shifarao, a descendant of King Haile Selassie I. She highlighted the day's historic nature as it marks the 16th anniversary of the AU and its founding fathers. The South African Ambassador for Peace and Security Council with the African Union stated that the One Africa Expo serves as a catalyst for the region's integration through inter-trade transactions.
Today marks a momentous and historic day as it is the first One Africa Exposition. With many leaders, decision makers, politicians, policymakers, many of us stand here united as one Africans because we all have one common goal. The same goal we've had for 60 years, which is transitioning the Africa of yesterday to tomorrow. This expo is very valuable to our continent as it will teach us how to grow our economies together through connecting our different markets with manufacturers, service providers, policymakers, etc.
Yes, Africa has suffered a lot over independences of many countries 60 years ago, 50 years ago, and the recent 12 years ago of the Sudan who have received the independence, South Sudan who have received the independence. It's a moment to have a first expo for the Africa, to have the intertrade together.
With the participation of all 55 member states, this platform gives an outstanding visual experience of Africa by bringing together a wide range of industries, including transportation, cultural variety, tourism, technology, green initiatives, agro-industries, financial services and infrastructure. One Africa Expo 2023 is a must-attend event for people looking to learn more about and grow their business opportunities in Africa, while also assisting in the growth of the continent's economic prosperity, it was stated.
That was a report by Kesan Chane about the first ever One African Expo, which went underway the theme enabling development. And the expo stays for this week at the Ethiopia Museum of Art and Science in Addis Ababa. In another news, ensuring vibrant economy and enhancing the creativity of innovation is said to be critical to hold the position of the existing international political order. Talking to ETV English, instructor of the Addis Ababa University, Chasa Bebe said Ethiopia is playing an unprecedented role in bridging the gap in voicing African matters to the international community.
Efforts are well underway to observe the 16th year anniversary of the then Organization of African Unity, now African Union Commission, with various assortments. Talking to ETV English, instructor of Addis Ababa University, the Chasa Bebe said Ethiopia is playing a critical role in establishing the then Organization of African Unity. According to the Chasa, realizing vibrant economy and innovation is the key factors to voice African agendas to the rest of the international community.
Economic power is very critical. When you are strong enough in economy or economic power, I think the world began to look to your interest. I don't think we have as such, for example, strong culture of innovation, coming up with new ideas and influence the global economy and the like.
Despite many complications in Africa, the Chasa underlined that the African Union Commission has been undertaking a list of effective activities in the continent.
After the so-called independence was achieved, there happened conflicts among the African states in different parts of the continent. You can take a number of examples in different corners of the continent. In resolving those conflicts, at least to my knowledge, this continental organization plays a significant role, at least in mediation or in arbitration and the like.
Apart from particular nations' efforts, the instructor said collective efforts are needed to finalize the United Nations permanency to have fair representation for over 1.3 billion Africans. Maria Mamo, who is Communication Officer at Partnership and Communication at African Studies Professionals Association, for her part said, efforts are well underway to observe African Day with various assortments in the capital. According to Maria, efforts are well in progress to expand the celebration of African Day as a holiday of all Pan-Africanists beyond to Africa.
We're planning to work with some embassies, bringing together, people from the Maghreb Arab, so that we feel and we make this holiday a Pan-African holiday. We're bringing in diaspora representatives to talk about how their insights on this day and on Pan-Africanism. We're also exploring how we can, further work together with groups of African descendants.
While observing the 16th year anniversary of African Union Commission, Ayele Bekri, who is a historian, said further efforts are needed to realize prosperous Africa.
Our Africa, our future, is to indicate that we have everything that is needed for us to transform ourselves so that we will be prosperous, we will be peaceful, we will have our stage in the world arena. You see, that's also in connection to Agenda 2060.
Preparations are well underway to observe the 16th year anniversary of the African Union Commission with various assortments in the metropolis.
As the continental giant, the African Union celebrates its 60th anniversary after being founded as an Organization of African Union, OAU, back in 1963. Analysts is worried that it still has to grapple with unconstitutional course. After gaining its independence, Africa has gone through various ups and downs, mainly the security threats. Political observers say the Union should adopt a zero tolerance for the overthrow of constitutionally elected governments, including manipulation of constitutions by incumbents and all other forms of unconstitutional change of government. Johannes Fentaun has compiled the following.
The Organization of African Unity was established on May 25, 1963 in Addis Ababa with the aim of promoting unity and solidarity amongst African states and to ridding the continent of the remaining vestiges of colonization and apartheid, which signaled the beginning of the end of Africa's colonial history. The Union has been doing its level best for the development and democratization of Africa since its inception. Africa as a continent has been challenged by security problems, poverty, lack of democracy, and other man-made and natural disasters as obstacles to proper implementation of the activities planned by the Union. But structural problems coupled with necessity of the time forced its leaders to change the OAU to the AU back in 2002. Since its establishment, the Union has been preparing and implementing various strategic plans and is carrying out various activities in order to achieve Agenda 2063 for the overall development of the continent. However, it has faced various threats to realize this agenda, and the frequent coups are the main ones mentioned. Military takeovers were common throughout Africa in the years after independence, and there were worries that this trend may continue. In 2022, there were unsuccessful coup attempts in Guinea-Bissau, the Gambia, and the island country of Sao Tome and Principe, In addition to the two takeovers in Burkina Faso, in Africa in 2021, there were 6 coup attempts, 4 of which were successful. Concerns has been voiced about the resurgence of unconstitutional change of power once the well-known Pan-Africanist Paul Lumumba said the following.
And at one time it was being said of many African countries that coups were as frequent as breakfast. But the truth and the unfortunate thing that in many of those countries, even breakfast was not that frequent.
Despite the numerous coups in many West African and some East African states, former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo argued that the African Union can stop the problem of military takeovers, but with strict measures like suspending any government who came to power without election.
I believe our organization, continental organization, will find a way out of it. Because if you remember, what put paid to eat at one time was when we put our foot down. And I moved that motion in Algeria then, in 1999, that any country that has a government not through the constitutional means should be suspended.
Several African administrations are accused in this regard for altering their constitutions to increase the length of their terms in power. And for the President of the African Parliament, this act of malgovernance provides fertile ground for instability and chaos.
That part of good governance is to comply with the laws that we have put in place. And just to go back to what he replied, I didn't want to mention the country about someone trying to change the constitution, but I'll be more open. Burkina Faso at one time went into parliament and amended, they did amend. And then the people went into the streets and said, you MPs, who told you to amend the constitution? Are you acting in our interest? No. So we are going to ban the parliament. And the Burkina Faso parliament was banned, put in flames, because people said, you have changed the constitution to remove the term limit of the president, yet you never spoke to us as citizens. We don't like what you've done.
Military coups are a continuation of politics by other means, especially in West Africa, where the political system favors only political class to the detriment of masses. Unlike democratic governments with political mandates based on constitutions and election outcomes, among other things, the political mandate of military coup leaders stem from the barrel of the gun.
Let's remind you the headlines of this hour. Prime Minister Abiy urges activating roles of innovators to demonstrate skills for development. And historians urge ensuring vibrant economy and innovation to voice African agendas. That's all for the edition. You have been watching the news with me, Daniel Kasahon. Thank you for your company. Goodbye and stay safe.